Pretending something isn't happening does not spare you from the consequences. I think I say that 3 times in my book on the Unwritten Rules of Work. I just got off a podcast where I was talking to someone about this commencement speaker at UCF demonstrating what I call the Unwritten Rule of Compliance. I'm Dr. K. I research the Unwritten Rules of Work for the working class and neurodivergence. The Unwritten Rule of Compliance is when there is the appearance of asking for your opinion, asking for a new idea, but you punish people who actually do that, who actually respond. For people from working class backgrounds, this is very frustrating. It's a cultural conflict for them where very direct communication happens. So if you ask a question, they are going to answer. And there's a lot of authoritarianism in the working class, and there's a lot of obedience culture. So it's not intended to be disrespectful. They think they're honoring the respect and obedience by answering the question. Throw neurodivergence, particularly autism, in here, and that's also a huge barrier, a huge conflict of you asked me a question, I answered it, or you told me you want new ideas and I gave you one, or you asked me if I thought this was going to work, and no, it's not. Let's watch this clip together and then let's unpack it.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. Whoa. What happened? Okay, I struck a chord. May I finish? Only a few years ago, AI was not a factor in our lives.
This is what happens when the Unwritten Rule of Compliance is so normalized that you make a damn fool of yourself. Because I'm not even going to go into AI here. I talk a lot about AI on my page in terms of what it means for society and the workforce. I'm not anti-AI, I'm anti-stupid AI. But for an executive to go to a graduation commencement speech and be so either out of touch or dismissive of the college graduates right now are struggling to find jobs because of AI taking a lot of entry-level positions, or that is at least what they're being told, is embarrassing. I'm not going to pretend to know this woman. I mean, it could be that she genuinely did not know. I mean, we do live in a very algorithm-tailored world. We all live in an echo chamber. We see this a lot politically, but it does impact business as well. It could also be, and this is where the Unwritten Rule of Compliance comes in, people on her team warned her this isn't going to go over well with arts and humanities majors of predominantly Gen Z at a group graduating in this shit market. And she was like, no, I know best. I don't know her personally. I can't speak to it, but the effect is the same. And this is a mistake a lot of companies are making right now, of being really out of touch with what people are struggling with. And when you're on a power trip, you can think it doesn't matter. But when you want labor out of these people, when you want them to buy your products and services, when you want prestige and recognition from a group of people, you do have to know what they care about and what is impacting them. Social class is a growing divide in America. It's already at astronomical levels. You throw AI, supposed AI layoffs, and then rehiring people at lower salaries in there. And it's really stupid to go to a commencement and talk about it and not be surprised people boo. As an industrial organizational psychologist who works with company leaders on learning the unwritten rules of class and neurodivergence and learning how to communicate with their teams and improve workflows with reducing the impact of these unwritten rules. When I saw this speech, it made me wonder, what is it like in her organization? Is her organization a bunch of elites and people are so disconnected from what's going on in the world? Or are the people in her workforce afraid to speak up? When they do, are they heard? And how is that impacting them? I had never heard of her organization before. Can't speak to their performance. But they're now going to have to do damage control because of a very preventable thing. This does remind me on a much smaller scale of the recent Nike controversy of runners welcome, walkers tolerated, that people did not like this. It was not in tune with how people are feeling right now. It's things like this that always have people say, how did nobody notice this in the organization? But for me, the question is always, did they not have enough diversity in the organization to have someone who represented their customer base present in the decision-making room? Or were they there and they just were not heard? Because diversity in itself will not replace the unwritten rules. Cultural norms of silence do impact your bottom line. We're just seeing these companies not figure it out until their customers have to tell them, or it goes viral online.